morning. This is the Transition News on Atlantic Television Network. Analysts has decried a high level of corruption in Nigeria's judicial system. Speaking on Atlantic television program Open Conversation, George Chinda said the judiciary has allowed itself to be ridiculed by politicians.
Okay, look at what Tony said there, that the matter is before the appeal court, and the appeal court is quite higher than the lower court. What that means is that the lower court is not even supposed to entertain the matter in the first place. So it appears that someone somewhere is trying to, do the bidding of someone. Now, what I'm trying to say is that it is quite unfortunate that judiciary, over time, have allowed itself to be ridiculed, to the extent that whenever they give judgment, people no longer believe the judgment. They believe that, one or two things may have transpired behind the scene, which to an extent, there's an atom of truth in that. There's an atom of truth, because you will see that some of this case, even before it is delivered, you notice the outcome. And I believe this is one of the reasons, or this could be one of the reasons, why some of the matters that was to be brought before the Rivers State Judiciary was taken to Federal High Court, that later the appeal court had to rule that the Federal High Court never had jurisdiction over the matter. Maybe not because that the litigants were not aware that the matter was supposed to be tried first at the lower court, but because of this same allegation that it has become Governor Fubara's supermarket, where any matter that goes there against him, you can never see the light of the day. That could be the reason why some of those matters were taken elsewhere, where he does not have power over the.
Speaking further, Mr. Chinda advised the judiciary to act according to the rule of law.
What is wrong? In line with the provisions of the law, the Constitution.
Right.
So when any of them goes, astray by being induced to do something that is not in accordance with the law, it pains me so much. It pains me. Ordinarily, we should just resort to self-help. Everybody, go to the state of nature, where if you have power, you defeat the next person. We decided to surrender everything to the state. And they are part of the state to determine some of these things. Unfortunately, some of them takes back to give some kind of judgment. It's really unfair. It's so hurtful. It's hurtful. So to conclude on this particular matter, what Sonia Okocha has said, if he has that, let him show it. And like I said, I will be one of the first persons behind him to castigate the particular judge that did that. I do not want to stay here on the national television to begin to spew, to defame someone when I do not have, any shred of.
This is coming after the embattled chairman of the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State, Chief Tony Okocha, had accused Governor Siminalayi Fubara of interfering in the affairs of the opposition party and influencing court rulings in the state. Edo State Police Command has urged state government officials and other organizations to collaborate with police in the distribution of palliatives to forestall any stampede that could lead to death and injuries to citizens of the state. The command spokesman, Moses Yamu, said in a statement that the advice became necessary to ensure that palliatives are distributed in an organized manner free of chaos. The statement also said, following recent cases of stampedes leading to avoidable deaths in some parts of the country, the Edo State Police Command has proactively called on government officials, community leaders, religious bodies and non-governmental organizations to collaborate with the state's command for a comprehensive and organized way of going about the distribution of any palliatives. The Commissioner of Police, Ozigi Umoru, therefore wants groups and organizers of similar events to ensure they involve the police or the security agencies to avoid such occurrences in the state, stressing that the command remains committed to always ensuring the safety of lives and property. This is coming after at least 35 children were killed in Oyo State last Wednesday. Also, on Saturday, 22 people died in Anambra State, while 10 died in Abuja, where more than 1,000 people had gathered at a church to receive clothes and food palliatives. Benin branch of the Nigerian Bar Association has condemned the recent suspension of the 18 local government area chairmen and their deputies by the Edo State House of Assembly. A statement by the chairman of the NBA in the branch, Idemudia Osifo, said the action of the House of Assembly was contrary to an existing Supreme Court judgment, referring to the situation as standing the rule of law on its head. The statement therefore called on all actors to constrain themselves to act within the ambit of the law, adding that the law has provided the proper channels to anyone who desires to find out the true financial state of the local government councils. The association appealed to the Attorney General and all other ministers in the Temple of Justice to advise accordingly in line with the tenets, saying that the law as a rule of law must be seen to be above all. Now, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo says Christmas represents the values that unite his people regardless of tribe, religion and politics. Okpebolo stated this while delivering his message at the Edo Christmas Carol 2024 held at the lawn tennis court of the Samuel Igbomudia Stadium in Benin, adding that Christmas was a season of love and hope which reminds everyone of the importance of compassion, generosity and peace. Governor Okpebolo, in his quest for Edo people to celebrate a unique Christmas, instituted a raffle draw for winners to go home with several melodious renditions by choir from various denominations, including the Living Faith Church, Miracle Assembly, Blessed Virgin Mary, Church of God Mission, and ELSS Band. The event also saw a special performance by the Theatre Arts Department from the University of Benin and Letu Man. Bible lessons were read in Pidgin and English languages by various personalities, which included the Administrator, Office of the First Lady of Edo State, Edeisili Ani Okpebolo. Representative of the wife of Deputy Governor and Edo South representative on the board of SUBEB, representatives of vegetable sellers, a returnee and a bus driver, amongst others. There was a presentation of prizes which included a raffle draw, a minibus, a tricycle, generating sets, sewing and grinding machines, among other items to winners. Nigeria Labour Congress Edo State Council has denied the claim by its national secretariat that the Edo State government forcefully broke into and ransacked the Edo State Labour House. A statement jointly signed by the acting state chairman Bernard Egwekide and the acting state secretary Kingsley Ireotoy, the state council described the allegations as false, misleading and baseless. The council clarified that at no point were police officers used to force entry into the Labour House. The Edo NLC also urged the national secretariat to mandate Odoyin Olaye to provide evidence to substantiate its claims, stressing the need to avoid unfounded accusations that could strain the positive relationship between the state government and the labor community. Abia State Road Traffic and Safety Management Agency says 6 persons were killed in a devastating accident that occurred at the Muri axis of Ohafia local government area. A trailer loaded with chippings collided with a Sienna bus carrying 9 passengers on Sunday afternoon, resulting in a tragic loss of lives and multiple injuries. A statement released by Nelson A. of the Public Relations Department of ATSMA said officials of the agency, led by the General Manager Colonel Ezechi Kalu, retired, promptly responded to the distress call and arrived at the scene to provide critical intervention. According to the release, the team mobilized resources including a crane and 2 towing vans to rescue victims and manage the situation, and extended heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased and to affected road transport workers, adding that the road had been fully cleared and reopened to traffic, while motorists are strongly advised to drive cautiously and adhere to traffic regulations to prevent such tragic incidents in the future. Meanwhile, the yet-to-be identified driver of the truck reportedly sneaked away from his vehicle and fled into the bush after discovering the carnage his vehicle had caused. Troops of the Joint Task Force Southeast Operation Udoka have killed 13 armed members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra and apprehended 3 kidnappers in the southeast. The spokesman of the task force, led Colonel Jonah Ukwahalo, who disclosed this in a statement in Enugu State, said the feat was part of the troops' clearance operations aimed at making the southeast safe and peaceful throughout the Yellowtide. Regarding operational details, Ukwahalo said troops of Sector 1 of the task force on December 21st conducted an ambush operation along Umuoka Road in 9th Mile, Udi, local government area of Enugu State, to deny kidnappers freedom of action, and during the operation, troops came into contact with the kidnappers, and in the ensuing firefight, the troops killed one while others escaped with gunshot wounds. He said items recovered at the scene were one AK-47 rifle, 2 magazines, and 17 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, 2 cell phones, 1 power bank, as well as 3 ATM cards, 1 wristwatch, a bunch of keys, and the sum of 8,900 naira, he said. The spokesman also mentioned that on December 16th, troops of Sector 5 conducted a clearance operation within the Mbosi and Isieke general area in Ihiala local government area of Anambra, where 3 IPOB members were also killed. He explained that on December 14th, troops acting on credible and reliable information from members of the public arrested 3 suspected kidnappers at Itangwa in Obingwa local government area of Abia. Suspected 40-year-old Ebonyi man identified as Joshua Nwanfo has allegedly killed his wife, Charity, over a tuber of yam in Unsokara, Eze South local government area of the state. It was gathered that the incident occurred in the couple's home where they had lived peacefully for 17 years. Eyewitnesses told newsmen the trouble started when Joshua brought out yam to cook for the family, but the wife insisted on having roasted yam instead and went ahead to roast it. The disagreement escalated when Joshua became angry, dragged his wife into the room, locked the door, and beat her up until she died. Lagos State government has taken a significant step towards achieving its 2025 revenue goals by training 450 revenue officers on the Lagos Revenue Portal and its artificial intelligence chatbot, Madam Shikini. The statement said the training was organized by the Office of the Special Advisor on Taxation and Revenue, drew participants from over 100 revenue-generating ministries, departments, and agencies. Speaking at the event, the Special Advisor on Taxation and Revenue, Ogungbo Okpeyemi, commended the participants and described the Lagos State civil servants as champions whose dedication has been instrumental in the state's revenue growth, adding that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu launched the LRP in August 2024 to revolutionize revenue collection in Lagos. The governor also issued a statewide circular mandating all revenue-generating MDAs to integrate with the LRP as a one-stop shop for revenue matters, adding that the introduction of a unique payer ID is central to the reforms, enabling secure, transparent, and efficient tracking of revenue transaction across all platforms. Now, speaking to journalists at the sidelines, the special advisor to the governor on corporate finance and strategy, Akintayo Sanwo-Olu, highlighted the importance of tax compliance and ongoing reforms, while also stressing the need for both civil servants and citizens to fulfill their tax obligations to support the state's revenue generation efforts. Lagos State House of Assembly says it would strengthen its oversight mechanism to ensure proper implementation of the 2025 appropriation bill. The chairman, House Committee on Information, Strategy and Security, Stephen Ogundikpe, disclosed this in Lagos. This is coming after Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu had on November 21st presented the 2025 appropriation bill of 3 trillion naira to the Assembly for legislative approval. Ogundikpe said the Assembly would strengthen oversight to ensure the budget works for the good of residents, adding that its standing committee would not lose their guard at ensuring they carried out effective oversight in all the state's ministries, departments, and agencies. He further said the Assembly will ensure that the 2025 budget brings hope to the people of the state once it is passed into law. Osun State House of Assembly has passed the 2025 appropriation bill after increasing the budget to 427 billion naira from the 390 billion naira originally presented by Governor Ademola Adeleke. A statement issued by Olamide Tiamiyu, Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, confirmed the bill's passage after the presentation of a detailed report by Mr. Olumide Funtamise, Chairman of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation. Commenting on the development, Speaker Adewale Egbedun commended the Finance and Appropriation Committee and the entire Assembly for their dedication to a thorough review and swift passage of the bill, and highlighted key sectors prioritized in the revised budget, including education, healthcare, infrastructure, tourism, and security, adding that the focus is to ensure the bill, once signed into law, delivers tangible benefits to Osun residents. Governor Adeleke initially presented the budget proposal at 390 billion naira for the 2025 fiscal year to the Assembly on Wednesday, November 13th, and underscored his administration's progress in road infrastructure, revealing that 80% of existing gaps have been addressed, substantially reducing deficits. Osun State government says efforts would be intensified towards ensuring peaceful coexistence across the state, especially in communities with a history of boundary crisis. The Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Kolakpo Alimi, disclosed this at the Palace of the Olufun of Ifun, Oba Peter Ikpadeola, during the celebration of Ola Ojo Royal Family Day in Ifun. Alimi, who specifically said Governor Ademola Adeleke's administration was working hard to prevent communal clashes, called for peaceful coexistence among residents of Ifun, Ilobu, and Eri, Osun, adding that the governor had embarked on consultation on issues causing crisis in the area. He warned that the administration would not allow any individual or group to cause communal unrest in the state. Commenting on the celebration, Alimi lauded Oba Ikpadeola for bringing members of the royal family together in celebration of their roots. Meanwhile, the Araba Owo of Osogboland Chief Ifayemi Elobuibon lamented that many Nigerians attached little or no value to their culture while embracing Western culture with all their strength. 22-year-old passenger identified as Miriam Taiwo has been reportedly dead and 2 others injured in a road accident that happened along the Sagamu-Ojigo Road, Ogun State. This is coming after the lone crash, which involved an ash-colored Lexus 350 Jeep with a registration number KRD85AJR driven by 28-year-old Ade Owodere in Sotubo, Ogun State. The police PRO Omolola Oduntola said the driver lost control of the steering and veered off the main road, causing the Jeep to flip into the bush, adding that Miriam was taken to Shagamu, where she was confirmed dead, while the other injured victims, Sikiru Musaibu, age 26, and 22-year-old Damilola Olajuwon, who suffered severe head injuries, were promptly taken to Awal Hospital in Sotubo for urgent medical attention. She said the incident took place near the Network Hotel in Sotubo, Ogun State, and involved an ash-colored Lexus 350 Jeep with the registration number as read. Owodero Idris, who was traveling from Shagamu towards Ojijo Road with 3 passengers. Oduntola, while stating that the corpse had been preserved to further examination and autopsy, added that further investigations were on the way to unravel incidents surrounding the death. Some suspected hoodlums have attacked the palace of Etsu, Lokoja, His Royal Highness Emmanuel Akami Soko Dauda Shelika Iwandi Iyankpa 5, and burnt his vehicle and properties within the premises. The palace, which is located on plot 306 New Layout, Lokoja, was allegedly attacked by hoodlums who burnt his vehicles, while the monarch narrowly escaped by scaling the fence. This is coming after the Nukpe natives of Lokoja Development Union were planning to host the second edition of Nukpe Natives End of Year event tagged Lokoja 24 Nukpe Cultural Festival on December 21st, 2024 before the incident occurred. The event was, however, aborted due to the unfortunate attack when many Nukpe natives from neighboring states had started arriving on the eve of the event, while the Dauda Shelika appealed to the government and security agencies to investigate the cause of the attack and bring the perpetrators and their sponsors to justice. He, however, appealed to the Nukpe natives in Lokoja to avoid any form of reprisal but continue to remain peaceful and law-abiding and allow government and security agencies to conduct thorough investigations on the attack, stressing that the government was aware of the efforts and structures that the leadership of Nukpe natives in Lokoja had put in place to facilitate the government's recognition of the Etsu Lokoja Sto to be able to administer themselves freely as an ethnic group. Also speaking, the national president, Nukpe natives of Lokoja Union, Alhaji Abubakar Ndashite, said the event scheduled for Saturday, December 21st, was a celebration of Nukpe cultural heritage and not any form of coronation as being insinuated from some quarters. He expressed his displeasure over the aborted cultural event, noting that the union had expended so much of it and urged the government to bring the perpetrators to book. Emir of Ilorin and chairman of the Kwara State Traditional Rights Rulers Council, Alhaji Ibrahim Sule Gbambari, has appealed to residents of Ilorin and the state in general to be safety conscious and ensure adequate protection of lives and property in their neighborhood. A statement issued by his spokesman, Malam Abdulaziz Arowuna, Alhaji Sule Gbambari, expressed sadness over the numerous fire outbreak incidents that occurred in Ilorin, which claims property worth several millions of naira, stressing that it is unfortunate to see the destruction of property at this critical period of economic trial in the country. He sympathized with the victims of the inferno and prayed that Almighty Allah would grant them the support they desired to cope with the situation, while the Kwara State Commissioner for Works and Transport, Abdulkwai Olododo, had disclosed that the state fire service, under the supervision of the recorded property estimated at about 817 million naira, was lost to fire in the state between January and December this year. Olododo, while commending the agency, said it has been able to save 17 billion naira worth of property from fire incidents during the period, while in another development, the Kwara State Fire Service has warned game hunters in the state to desist from setting fire to bushes in search of bushmeat, saying it has attended to at least 5 fire incidents caused by bush burning in December 2024 alone. The State Fire Service, in a statement by Hassan Adekunle, Principal Fire Officer and Head of Media and Publicity Department, urged the people in the state to immediately stop the dangerous and destructive practice of bush burning in the state. Kwara State Government, through the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project in collaboration with the World Bank and the Center for Dryland Agriculture, has trained 700 farmers and extension agents to boost food security in the state. Speaking during the closing ceremony of a week-long training program on small ruminant production and crop residue processing, Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazik expressed confidence in the trainees' ability to produce affordable protein for the state's residents, adding that the training covered breeding and production techniques for sheep, goats, rabbits, grass cutters, and snails. Represented by his senior advisor and counselor, Alhaji Saduddin Salahuddin, at the event held at the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization in Ilorin, the governor said the participants were drawn from diverse backgrounds, including livestock and crop farmers, retired civil servants, and youths from rural communities, and also stressed their potential to transform the state's agroeconomy. A statement issued by the Project Communication and ICT Officer, Kwara El Press Ganiyu Adebisi, said the governor urged the participants to leverage their new skills to support the government's efforts to achieve food security and sufficiency in the state. Governor Abdul Razik expressed his satisfaction with the impact of El Press in revitalizing the agricultural sector, highlighting the program's potential for wealth creation, adding that the government had provided inputs to over 600,000 smallholder farmers and distributed tractors to all 16 local government areas in the state to boost agricultural productivity. The chairman of the Lower Niger River Basin Development Authority, Alhaji Abdulatif Alakwa, commended the governor's vision for prioritizing agriculture in his administration's agenda. Association of Resident Doctors Federal Capital Territory Administration has issued a stark warning to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike threatening the deadliest shutdown of hospitals in 14 days if their pressing demands remain unresolved. Addressing journalists in Abuja, President of the Doctors Association, Dr. George Ebong, commended the minister's strides in infrastructure development but stressed that urgent attention must be given to the welfare of doctors, describing them as on the verge of extinction due to escalating economic hardships. The associations demand a clear and urgent immediate clearance of 6 months' salary arrears owed to the members employed in 2023, including urgent payment of the 2024 Medical Residency Training Fund, review of the bonding policy and reducing it from 6 years to 2, implementation of skipping allowances for 2023 intakes, and issuance of the necessary letters and payment of 2024 accrued 3 months allowances without delay. Others are clearing 13 months hazard allowance arrears, fast-tracking the conversion of AROD Post 2 members to consultants, and to expedite employment of healthcare workers to address crippling manpower shortages. The doctors initially issued a 21 days ultimatum during their annual general meeting, which now leaves 14 days for action. Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has urged residents of the state to live in peace, love, and unity, stressing that development can only be achieved through harmony. Sani made the call at a Christmas carol organized by the state chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria at Ekwa Good News, Narai High Coast, where he celebrated with Christians and reiterated his commitment to running an inclusive administration. The governor acknowledged that Kaduna has faced setback in the past due to ethnic and religious bigots who divided the state along ethno-religious lines for selfish interests, stressing that his administration is committed to running an inclusive government that treats everyone equally, regardless of their background. Governor Sani will also stress the importance of Muslims and Christians living together and working towards a common goal of repositioning Kaduna State to its former glory, adding that both the governor and President Bola Tinubu were working to extend economic prosperity to everyone, stating peace in Kaduna State, adding that the majority of people are pleased with the progress being made towards the state's development. The CAN chairman in Kaduna State, Caleb Maaji, praised Sani for his commitment to inclusivity and balance and the governor's presence at the Christmas Carol event to identify with people from different faiths and backgrounds. The Christmas Carol event was attended by a demonstration of the state's commitment to peace and unity. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutwang has offered free transportation service to the citizens within and outside the state as the Christmas and New Year festivities approach. The State Commissioner for Transport, Davu Gang, who disclosed this in a statement in Jos, the state capital, said the free transportation service, which will commence on December 23, 2024, are meant to cushion the effect of the economic challenges being faced by the people. He said the free transportation would cover intra-local government travel across the 17 local government areas of the state, as well as interstate travel, stressing that from Monday 23rd to Tuesday 24th, all metro bus rides within the Jos Buruku metropolis are free, with extended routes other than the usual ones. The statement advised interested travelers to contact the leadership of Plateau State associations in their respective zones for seamless arrangements, as well as the return trip for interlocal government and interstate travelers scheduled for January 4th to 5th, 2025. You're watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We'll return after this break. Please stay with us. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu says there is no going back on the tax reform bill. Tinubu, who disclosed this during a media chat in Lagos on Monday, said the tax reforms were necessitated by the need to eliminate colonial-based assumptions in the nation's tax environment. The tax reforms have sparked controversy across the country, forcing the House of Representatives to suspend indefinitely the debate on the bills earlier fixed for December 3rd, following mounting pressure from the 19 northern state governors, and the planned debate was called off after 73 northern lawmakers kicked against the bills. However, while the reforms have garnered support in the South as steps towards equitable resource distribution, stakeholders say resistance from the North reflects fears of marginalization and economic disadvantage. This is coming after, on September 3rd, 2024, President Bola Tinubu transmitted 4 tax reform bills to the National Assembly for consideration following the recommendations of the Taiwo Oyedele-led Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms. The bill included the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024, which aims to provide the fiscal framework for taxation in the country, and the Tax Administration Bill, which will provide a clear and concise legal framework for all taxes in the country and reduce disputes. Others are the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, expected to repeal the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act and establish the Nigeria Revenue Service, as well as the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, which will create a tax tribunal and a tax ombudsman. While on October 29, 2024, the Northern Governors Forum, the umbrella body comprising the 19 governors of the region, kicked against the bill, particularly the value-added tax sharing template. And at gatherings in Kaduna, the governors directed federal lawmakers from their respective states to vote against the bill when they came up for debate in both chambers of the National Assembly. Few days later, the National Economic Council, presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima, advised the federal government to withdraw the bill to create room for broader consultations among critical stakeholders, and it was turned down by the president in a statement by his spokesman Bayo Onanuga, stressing that tax reforms was pro-poor and aimed at widening the tax nets, noting that it was typical for tax reforms to be accompanied by outcries. Tinubu said removing petrol subsidy was in a bid to save generations to come, noting that the country was already spending its future while giving freebies to neighboring countries, and also called for the phased removal of subsidiaries, saying the nation was headed for financial disaster, stressing that with the subsidy removal, what was imperative was for Nigerians to manage within available resources and shun unnecessary expenses. Tinubu also mentioned the student loan as a means to prevent people from subscribing to corruption to fund their education, adding that increasing minimum wage was also a way to tackle corruption. President Bola Tinubu has officially launched the 2024 main Christian pilgrimage to Israel and Jordan. The airlift of pilgrims was flagged off at Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos State. A statement by the Deputy Director and Head of Media and Public Relations, Celestine Toruka, and published on the Commission's official X handle, said Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, urged pilgrims to view their journey as an opportunity to strengthen their faith in God. He said the theme of the 2024 pilgrimage of renewed hope for total restoration, aligns with the vision and agenda of his administration, and also cautioned pilgrims against absconding while in the Holy Land, stressing that there is no better place than home. He encouraged them to pray for Lagos State and Nigeria at large. Speaking through the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, Mr. President emphasized the power of prayer and the sanctity of religion, and urged the intending Christian pilgrims to see their pilgrimage as a chance to deepen their faith in God. He urged the pilgrim to pray for the progress of Nigeria, Lagos State, and their families. Mr. President also admonished them not to abscond in the Holy Land, stating that Nigeria is their fatherland and there is no place better than home. Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the NCPC, Bishop Stephen Adegbite, in his welcome address, said the exercise marked his first as the fourth substantive secretary of the Commission and acknowledged challenges since assuming office on the 5th February 2024, but reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to ensuring the smooth conduct of pilgrimages to holy sites worldwide in line with the NCPC 2007 Enabling Act of the National Assembly. He urged the intending pilgrims to display exemplary behavior during the pilgrimage, describing it as a time for humility, piety and decorum, and also assured them of excellent services provided by the Commission's service providers, and thanked Mr. President for creating an enabling environment for pilgrimages to thrive in Nigeria and for his unprecedented support of the Commission. Minister of Transport, Senator Said Alkali, has officially kicked off the 2024 Yuletide Road Transportation Palliative. Pardon me, please. Transport Ministry Director, Press and Public Relations, Olujimi Oyetomi, who disclosed in a statement on Monday, government has directed the leadership of road transport unions, including the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, National Union of Road Transport Workers, God is Good Motors, and Association of Luxury Bus Owners of Nigeria, to ensure that their palliative buses are moved to the designated loading point early on the 24th December 2024 to begin to move Nigerians who seek to take advantage of the road transport to join their loved ones across the country for Christmas 2024 and New Year Day 2025. Acknowledging the delay in the scheme's commencement, Alkali expressed regret, citing logistical challenges that have now been resolved. The minister also highlighted the ongoing free train rides provided by the Nigerian Railway Corporation on 6 corridors across the country towards enhancing transportation options for Nigerians during the festive season. The Ministry of Transportation encouraged Nigerians to review the approved route maps and designated terminals for smooth travel planning. Federal government has declared Wednesday, December 25th, Thursday, December 26th, and Wednesday, January 1st, 2025 as public holidays to mark Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year celebrations. Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, through a statement signed by the ministry's permanent secretary, Magdalene Ajani, extended greetings to Nigerians, encouraging citizens to embrace the season's values of love, peace and unity, adding that the Christmas season is a good moment for both spiritual reflection and national renewal as Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus, the Prince of Peace, to demonstrate kindness and extend goodwill to one another irrespective of their differences. He stressed the need for Nigerians to strengthen familial and community bonds, fostering harmony that contributes to national development, as well as the federal government's commitment to ensuring peace, security, and prosperity across the nation. He also expressed optimism that President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda will drive the country towards a more prosperous 2025. As the Yuletide season begins, market survey in 3 north-central Nigerian states show that food prices have remained high despite the arrival of the harvest season to force down the prices of some food items. Residents of Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, says the high prices of foodstuffs and essential commodities are making life unbearable for families, and high cost of living has resulted to low patronage as families now buy only what to feed on and not exotic goods anymore. On Atlantic Television Network Street broadcast, Joseph Moses Muyinka brings up news of the views of Nigerians.
Hello and welcome to the Atlantic Street broadcast. I am Joseph Moses Mawinka. Just we have always promised to bring you updates of issues in the street of Abuja. Today we've been in the markets to give you the update of the prices of goods in the market. Normally when it is December, Christmas, New Year, things in the markets normally go high in terms of prices, as many people will go and buy to celebrate. At Gariki Market, we'll be bringing you the updates of how much things are being sold today?
The market of this time around is getting more harder. It's not getting more harder in the sense that some of things we are buying for, for example, something we buy for 20,000 naira today is 80,000 or even more than that. And the profit we normally have before, today, we don't make the profit anymore. Secondly, the transportation to bring those goods is very, very difficult. Sometimes we get goods from Lagos. To bring it to Abuja here is very, very difficult and a high price too. Sometimes we pay 20,000 naira for the goods to arrive in Abuja here, but today, you cannot even take that goods down to Abuja here in, let me say, 150,000. It depends the size of the goods. And the food truck, even J5 today, they collect 300 and something we pay 120 or even 100,000 naira. So when you split the money from the goods, you say that you cannot be able to sell it. Okay, look at, we are celebrating Christmas today, but the market is very dried. People don't have money. Organization, they don't come. There's no customer here right now because once you tell their price, they will say no. And once they say no, many of them will go back and go and manage what they have.
I'm actually a businesswoman in this market also. So since this year, not even 3 months as you asked, it has not been easy for anybody. Even blind can perceive it. Yes, so things that is in the market at this period, normally this is supposed to be the period of, as in, when we make a lot of sales. But looking at in fact, this side is petty trader. That's why you see people moving around like this. If you go up there, main shop, like we that is in the main shop, we are just there wasting our data because nothing is going on. Do you understand? So no sales. Even we used to sell better than now. So it's as if people are even scared of spending the little one they have.
Festival period, normally we expect it turn up. People buy things to share their loved ones, maybe hotels, churches, many places. But this time around, because of the high cost of things, rice is on the high side, oil is on the high side, spaghetti, all the food items is on the high side. So the turn up is slow. So people can't afford to buy things, but they are trying gradually. It's people that can afford it will buy it. Those people that with low class, they couldn't afford this thing because the price is on the too high, on the high side. So it's affecting the masses, although also affecting way that they're doing business. Both the fuel issue, for you to go to where you get your goods and bring come back, added everything is on the high side. So yes, everything is on the high side.
I'm not happy. So government supposed to do something. See, as I come back and I know if you buy something. See, everything very costly. Everything very costly. See, rice very costly, beans very costly, spaghetti, same, everything very costly. We're not supposed to do something. See, everybody, all the women, they cry. So no see money to buy everything. If you buy something today, if you come tomorrow, then go add printing money inside. I don't know what thing they happen for this Nigeria. I be when I go live until person go die finish before when I go put mouth. I beg Nigeria, make they do something for us. Because this thing don't too much, over too much for us.
Okay, today, every day, things just go up and up and up and up. So I don't even know, see onions. These onions before is 50 naira, been at 20 naira. But now, see, he give me 500. Onions of before 20 naira, now 500. Now he say, okay, may add 500. What is happening? What is happening in Nigeria, please? You tire me, oh. I don't talk the one where I know.
Namala. See this thing now. How much before? 100 naira. 1,000. And the thing why I know this 100 naira. You go like this. This Baba, now God do.
Your own level now, how much you sell?
Because you buy they buy before.
Like how much now you sell?
This one 35.
This one
35.
35.
This one 25.
This one 25.
This one 2,000 corn. This one cassava. 1,000.
So
How be that? Person where go farm, he call the brother, another person go again. You know go again now. Now this thing be problem, no be say only oye. So may Baba people where they keep us, may Baba try for us. Oh yeah, come on, may Baba leave us the day before. Because if you today I go carry this market for Karomo, 5,000 carry my bag, 3 bag, 15,000. Something where they carry 500 before. Huh? You know too much. To me, the way I carry, I don't go put money. See leather, why they buy before how much leather? See this one, and now I buy them tidy with plantain. Not that before, now 500 small leather. We know this one would do. I beg Baba for us. This.
That's not fair. Even if I can buy, what of our sisters will no feed buy? Things are costing. That is now. Is it more? It's getting worse. I'm telling you honestly, it's getting worse by the day. This one is 60,000 now. Before you finish 60,000, except you go, even if you go Mararaba, it's 47,000. Here now, they will say 60,000. I'm telling you honestly.
Thank you for watching. You've indeed been with us and you have heard the prices of. Do not be afraid. You can go and get yours. I am Joseph Moses Mawinka, Atlantic Television Network News, Abuja.
And that's the size of the package. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Otaria Benjamin. You can follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Atlantic TV Network, at Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram, Atlantic TV Network. Remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Please stay with us. Up next is Society Watch.
From the lands across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.